Today we play golf.
Let me show you how we do it in the pros.
Welcome to Behind the Golf Brand Podcast.
I never miss with the 7-iron.
A conversation with some of the most interesting innovators and entrepreneurs behind the biggest names in golf.
My friends with the golf clubs. I lived on the golf course. I lived on the driving range.
From pro talk
You should learn something from each and every single round you play.
to fun from on and off the green.
Why would you play golf if you don't play it for money?
Just let me put the ball in the hole.
This is Behind the Golf Brand Podcast with Paul Liberatore.
What's up, guys? Paul from Golfers Authority. We are on episode 60 today, which I cannot believe. 60 in a little over a year, so I'm really excited. I have my friend Sam Gleason on the show. Sam and I have been friends for about a year, I'd say, year and a half. I love what Sam's doing. He's a real go-getter like us, and I love how he's kind of transforming the game with golf carts and golf bags and making them actually affordable, which, you know, after last year with COVID, it was like impossible to find it. So without further ado, Sam, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Paul. I'm honored to be on. Seriously, I appreciate everything you've done for us. Like you said, we've been friends for probably a year, a little over a year, and in that time, you've been nothing but helpful with us. You know, in terms of featuring our stuff on your platform. You know, with the product reviews and giveaway type stuff. I would say of anyone, you've been the most helpful to us in the early going. So thank you. And again, I'm honored to be on it. There's been some heavy hitters on here.
How did we find each other? I forgot. Who introduced us to each other?
That's actually a really good question because I can't think of it off the top either. I remember it was very early. I want to say maybe it was Brian.
Was it Brian knows everybody?
Yeah. I want to say maybe it was Brian, but it was definitely early. I mean, we launched.
Like you hadn't even gotten your products yet. They're still in a ship coming over. Like you were like 3 to 4 weeks before the ship was coming in. That's when I remember. That was a long time ago.
You know what it probably was?
What?
It was probably Black Friday, the week of Black Friday, because that's when we launched. But we didn't have our products for another 3 to 4 weeks after that. So we may have reached out directly to you to be like, hey, we're launching this week. You know, can you help? And you were always happy to help. So that was really cool.
Where do you live? I forgot. You live East Coast, right?
Yep. I live in Boston. I just bought a house. So I'm currently in my mother's house because I'm homeless for the month of September while we close on this house.
Little guy. Are you staying in your room that you where it was when you were a kid?
At some point in time, me and my brother switched rooms. I don't know when that happened. So I'm staying in his childhood room for whatever reason.
That's hilarious.
And I'm ready to be out of here.
Does it have like spaceship wallpaper all over the walls and like pictures of like hockey players from the early or late 90s, early 2000s?
No, at some point the posters and stuff came down. But when I was a kid, though, from bottom to top was posters and pictures of sports and all that stuff.
That was like me too, man. I was a big Chicago Bears fan when I was a kid, like in the late 80s, and like I had all these posters on my wall of like Walter Payton and and like all these, like there's these very iconic posters. Everybody has them. You're like in your 40s. They were like those Sports Illustrated looking ones, and they were white, and then they had like a picture of the player in the front and had their name. I love those posters. So is this your full-time? This is your full-time gig, right? This is like your side hustle that's starting to get big.
Yeah, it's definitely still my side hustle. I'm hoping, sooner rather than later it becomes full-time. I think we can get there. We'll get there eventually, just hoping sooner rather than later. But for now, it is still my side hustle. Yeah, that's how you.
It's a lot. It's hard, man. It's that transition. Like I feel the whole process is hard, but it's very doable. You know.
Yeah.
How did you start doing this? Like, were you like a high school golfer, a college golfer, or what? Were you just like a normal dude like everybody else?
I was a post-high school athlete golfer, like, everybody else, where it's like, okay, I can't play sports anymore. I need something to, compete and try and improve at, things like that, a sport. I'm not going to go play, basketball every single day or whatever that may be. So it was golf. The way that it started was like, I definitely fell in love with golf over the years. I'm 30 now. So within the last 10 years, like it's just grown. My love for golf has grown each and every year. And when I was in college is when I started. And then so in terms of story of the brand, behind the brand, it was February last year. Golf season is about to kick off in the Northeast. You're in Arizona?
I'm in Arizona.
Mexico?
Yeah, we don't have seasons.
Arizona, that's what. Exactly. So for us in the Northeast, February rolled around. It's like, all right, let's get our bag ready. Let's get our cleats and our clubs all ready to go, because once March hits, we're getting back out on the course. March hit, something came along with golf season, came something else last year in terms of COVID-19. So it really threw a wrench into things. And at least in the Northeast, I don't know how it was down there, they weren't allowing golf carts out. Up until last year, I preferred to ride. I didn't really like to carry. I didn't have a push cart. I was an electric golf cart guy where I prefer to ride over anything. They weren't allowing golf carts out. So I was like, all right, well, I have to golf because, that's a non-negotiable. I have to golf. If I can't ride in a cart, obviously I'm going to have to carry. Well, I hate carrying. If I want to throw a few beers in my bag or whatever, it starts to get really heavy. Like lugging that thing around for 18 holes, like 3 times a week can be a nuisance. So I was like, all right, I need a push cart. Could not get a push cart. I looked everywhere. I could not get a push cart. So that was basically, I'm like walking up a fairway. I finally found one. I'm using this like rinky dink piece of crap that I found on like Facebook Marketplace from a neighbor. And I was like, all right, this is insane. Obviously there's like, an opening in this market, the push cart market, where there's an opportunity. So if I can't get one push cart, maybe I can get 100 and sell them and create something that way. So it started out as an idea. It was, what would the company name be? Are we only going to sell push carts? Are we, what else is it going to be? I think at one point I tossed around the idea of calling it King's Golf or something like that. I think that might already even be a brand, but there was a couple names shopped around, and it just sort of, formed into what it is today with the bag, the money bag, the G-Wagon push cart. And then on top,
when was this? So when was that, would you say?
That was like probably early to mid-April, like once,
last year,
a few weeks. Yeah, of last year when the first idea came to me, and then it just became like, what's the first step of starting a business? It's like, okay, LLC, create a few, an Instagram, create all this different. It's like creating the brand, find a supplier, things like that. And we launched, like I said, on Black Friday of last year. So it took from April.
How many sales did you get on Black Friday? Probably zero.
Yeah. No, we had a couple like friends and family and stuff like that, but
your brother.
Organic sales didn't come for a little while.
But like, what's your full-time gig? Don't you do something with like shipping or something, right?
I do something. Yeah, I do shipping. I'm a logistics broker in Boston. So basically I work with companies like, say, I don't work with Nike, but for example, Nike, I would negotiate the shipping, like basically organize the shipping. I'll contact the shipping companies. I'll talk with Nike. I'm sort of the middleman in between the actual people shipping and the people.
How's the name for that?
3PL.
So are you a 3PL then?
Yeah.
I thought 3PL was like for people like who wanted to like, I don't know, store stuff and then like them ship it out for them. But are you still a 3PL?
That's correct too.
Oh
yeah. There's more than one name.
Yeah.
Fulfillment.
It's just shipping. I don't remember. I did like when I first got out of law school. I did international trade law, which I knew nothing about.
I don't even know what that means.
It sucks. It's just like you have to like make sure that we weren't breaking federal laws. It was the worst job ever. I hated that job.
Sounds terrible.
I only did it for 2 years and I got the hell out. You really don't have a background in this at all. Have you started a company before this, or no? This is like your first. Like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna figure it out.
This is my first foray in entrepreneurship, and I always wanted to be my own boss. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was the guy that was, playing golf or, at the bar or whatever it may be at dinner. And it's like, I see something and I think, can that become a business? I've always just thought that way. So that's sort of when the push cart thing happened. I
That's
don't know
a big
what it was
endeavor.
about.
That's big balls
Yeah.
right there, you guys. Like seriously, it's not like he bought like a ball marker. He bought freaking golf carts. That's a huge swing, and that's like a lot of money, right? Because not like they're cheap
So-
to make. I'm not gonna ask you to pay
No,
for them, but
they're
like
definitely not.
it's not like you're buying a $2 thing, right? And it's like, well, I can buy 100 of them and see if they sell on the internet. No, it's like you gotta buy a freaking shipping container of golf carts.
There was a couple factors that gave me confidence that I could do it. Number one is I'm in sales. That's when I say I'm a logistics
Yeah.
broker, like it's sales. I'm in sales. So I knew I could do the sales because that's what I do every day. Number two is I'm in the shipping industry. So I knew that I had a leg up on everyone else understanding fulfillment and being able to have the right contacts in terms of, finding shippers and, negotiating good rates and things like that. So I already had those two things that I felt like I was going to be okay at. I felt like those are really important aspects, as well as the desire to be my own boss. So that's it
cool
was a
as shit.
huge risk. It still is a risk, to be completely honest.
Yeah, but
right?
aren't you almost sold out? That's what I thought. Or you're getting close.
We are. No, we
Yeah,
are.
that's what I thought. I'm
We're
like, you guys already sold out.
out.
I'm so happy to hear that. You have no idea, right? Because like you guys, he did it, right? Like he had an idea, he saw a need, he figured it out, he started a business, and he sold out his first wave or whatever of product. which
Yeah,
is
I mean,
hard as
thank you.
hell. That's freaking hard.
It was hard.
That is so hard because he's up against all the big boys, right? He's a new kid on the block.
Yeah,
Also,
I'm a young guy still.
It's like carts are expensive now because like last year you couldn't find a cart if your life depended on it. I remember, I'm not gonna name the brand, but it's probably the biggest cart brand as your biggest competitor. We did one of their carts,
I can think.
and it rhymes with ick gear, and they ran out. Like they ran out of carts like in April or whatever it was, and we had one, and then we released the review, I think, and they were like, "Well, it's cool you did the review, we appreciate it, but we don't even have any in stock anymore." And it was like 3 months later. I was like, "Holy crap!" Which you told me that in the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know. Carts are huge. I think that's a great market to be in, honestly, dude. Especially if you can start designing your own.
I completely agree, and absolutely fallen in love with walking the golf course versus the push carts. I've fallen in love with the entire thing, especially like all the benefits of walking. If you love to golf, we know how important health is. COVID-19, boosting your immunity, things like that is so important. Like, so if you care about your health at all and you love to golf, walking the golf course is the easiest, most enjoyable way to get real, legitimate exercise on a regular basis. So, I mean, there's mental health benefits, there's obviously physical health benefits, and it's just the most enjoyable way to do it. You feel more connected to the course.
It's never gonna go away.
I can go on and on.
Never
about
gonna
it.
go away, dude. That's awesome. Like for reals.
Thank you.
What was your initial order? How much you order? Like 100, 500?
I ordered 200 push carts and 400 golf bags. So I obviously did not have the money myself to just like, hey, I'm going to buy all these, push carts and golf
Well,
bags.
that's big
So
risk,
I
too, dude.
found
You
some
bought 1,000 bags
Yeah,
and 1,000 carts. No wonder you live with your parents.
it was-
Just kidding.
Only for the next, let's see, what's today's date? The next 13 days.
I'm just kidding. I lived with my parents for a couple of years. It sucked.
And-
When I first got out of college, that was
Well,
the worst.
I mean,
Like,
I'm
oh, yeah,
nervous
this is
again.
my
'cause we
girlfriend.
bought our
Come
first
on in.
house.
Come check out my room. Check out my Starship wallpaper.
Just
For real. It's just like,
check out my
dude, I was
my
like,
race
it
car
was-
bed.
It was. No, I was kidding. It wasn't a race car bed. Check out my twin bed. You want to watch a VHS tape?
But yeah, we just bought our first house, so I'm nervous. I'm nervous all over again. I'm gonna have to fix things now. I've been in an apartment my entire life. Well, since I
So
was.
where are you living in
18 or
Boston?
whatever.
Somebody wants to know what city.
So
are you in
we
Boston,
just-
Boston, or are you in the suburb?
I've been in Boston for the last 5 years. I lived in Southie the last 2 years. I lived in Brighton 3 years before that. I'm actually moving to Mansfield, which is right next to Foxborough. So I'll be like right by Gillette Stadium and TPC Boston. So I'm excited to move into the suburbs. Yeah.
You got your first shipment, and you ordered the stuff, and then you're like, oh crap, I gotta build a website. I gotta do all this other things. I gotta figure out how in the hell I'm gonna get it out there and market. So how did you market Greenside? Did you what was your secret? Or
Now would be a good time to tell you that I do have a partner. I have a partner that
I already knew that.
is definitely, yeah, exactly. You already knew that, but his name is Chris, and he has a marketing background. I knew that in terms of marketing, I do sales, I can do shipping, I can do negotiation type
and
stuff,
buying,
but
buying the product,
buying, yeah, like things like that. But specifically advertising and marketing, I knew I was going to need some more help there. So I brought on Chris, and he's been just incredible for our growth. He handles all the advertising, all the marketing. He is more of an analytical details type mind versus me being more big picture type stuff. He does a lot with finance, projections, things like that. And it's just we've formed a really good partnership. So it's been an incredible experience to this point.
Did you guys run ads? Like, how in the hell did you what were you guys doing? We run Facebook ads?
So
I'm assuming probably.
Yeah. We had to experiment
Instagram.
a lot.
Yeah, I spent a lot of money.
Ads, I mean, yeah, we spent a ton of money just trying to figure out what worked. I mean, we have worked with, influencers, and we've worked with other brands like newsletters. We worked with a new, at one point we paid a newsletter $800 to feature us in their newsletter. We got a total
Did that even work?
order. We got a total of one order from that. So it's like trial and error. I mean,
dude, that happened to me once, and here's the deal. Don't lie to me. Right. So don't be like, oh, I'm going to get my list is so big. I'm going to do all this. And then it's like, okay,
yeah,
let's check it out because you need to produce. And then I get it. And I'm like, dude, bro, your list is crap. And he's like, I'm like, yeah, dude, your list is crap. Seriously. You've lost all credibility with me. So I will never, ever, ever work with you again because you're lie. So don't lie. Just be honest. Because I'll tell you guys right now, in the world of email lists, right? Everyone's like, oh, I got a big email list, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, okay, well, what's your open rate? And then what's your click-through rate? And they're like, oh, this they start making up numbers. And then they're like, well, my email list is 400,000. Yeah, but if only 2,000 people open the email, who cares, right? And so that makes me mad when people do that crap. So I don't trust anybody with that stuff. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, I mean,
all of it.
I agree. We've found that Facebook and Instagram ads are the most controllable in that we can create content and fix it up and detail it how we want, and
analytics, you can see if it's working or not. You can see it pretty quick.
Exactly.
I'm shooting a gun in the dark. Most of the time I hit something. No, so everyone asks, oh, you must have a really big email list. No, not really, because I'm always cutting it. If you're not opening my emails, why would I keep you on my list? That's so dumb. It's like the guy who has a truck with balls on the bottom of it, right? That's exactly what it is. Oh, I got big balls. It's like, no, you don't. That's stupid. Be straight. I don't know. That's just how I am. And people always go, oh, we want to send an email out on your list. Nope, that's my list, man. Get your own. These are my people that support me. I'm not going to sell them to your stupid company. Your
email lists are legit. I will say, for the people that don't know, you've got a very legit email marketing list.
If you don't want to be on it, don't be on it, right? And if you like it, cool. And I'm never gonna sell it. So there you go. That's what makes me mad too, because people are people will come to you and they'll say, oh, I have so and so's list, and I can send an email out on that. And you're like, I don't know who those people are, so why would I trust you? Yeah, so I'm just telling you now, if you're in business, don't rely on someone else's list. People try to sell you that all day long. It's all BS. It's all BS. It's all fake numbers.
We've had zero success with that sort of thing, buying. We've purchased an email list at one point, and it absolutely did not work. We got more threats.
It's kind of illegal.
We got more threats
because
than
those
we
people
did help.
Yeah, people don't give you authorization. I guess they probably, well, who knows? Maybe they did. But still, I don't know. Just be straight. That's what I think. I've never been on the flip side of it, right? So, I've always been more the content. So I don't really, sell per se. I try to find good deals and good offers and be like, hey, I got to hook you guys up. I found this really cool thing with so-and-so because they're hooking me up. So here you go. But when I started my own brand, I was like, the reason why I did that is I wanted to learn what it was like to be on the other side. So that's what I kind of learned with this thing with the email. And I learned, I wanted to see what it was like on the other side of the coin and what people have to deal with as a e-com or as a business. It's hard out there. I mean, it really is for marketing. You can have the
it is.
Listen, you're not I know a lot of people, in golf. A lot of good friends now, and everyone says the same thing. It's like if you really want to start, I'll tell you what secret sauce is. I think I could be wrong. One is Amazon. Everyone's like, oh, I hate Amazon, blah blah blah. Yeah, dude, that thing's. But if you want to deal with the devil, that's how you do it, and it might work. And you're probably gonna sell a ton of product. I know somebody sells like a ton of product on Amazon. And then the other thing is, like you just said, with Facebook ads and Google ads, but that's a whole game in itself.
Yep.
So
We're gonna have to get on Amazon. That's probably on the top of the priority list that we were talking about off air.
That's a whole
Amazon
new world.
and expanding our social media. Yeah.
Yeah, I met with somebody this weekend, and we were going over. They're an Amazon person, and they're really successful. And they know what they're doing. And it's a whole other world.
You have to send me
it's
their
a whole
contact.
learning experience. It's take you 6 months to figure it out. But once you figure it out,
I'm sure it's gonna.
It might help you guys too, because now you have to carry all that inventory. If you just said, but now you got to pay them to hold it, because this is what I learned too. Amazon will not rank you, but if you're going through them of Prime, then they almost push you up. You know what I mean? Because they're wanting, instead of just being the guy who's shipping it out, even though your numbers could be great.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got the bags and you got the carts, and you sold out all of it or most of it, or what?
We sold out all the bags 3 months ago. Obviously, everybody, it's no surprise, supply chain is an absolute dumpster fire right now, or, anything that has to do with ordering in bulk, is impossible right now. So our biggest issues that we've come up with are definitely within our supply chain, because it takes, our lead time right now is 6 months. We have to order, which is hard. It's hard to project an entire half a year out in terms of timing. And knowing, okay, let's order now because we're going to run out of our product in 5.5 months.
And you wouldn't even know that. You have no idea, because it's your first season. So you're like, this is what we can afford, so let's buy this. And then you saw it 3 months ago. That was June, in the dead middle of golf season.
Oh yeah, it's been tough.
That's kind of good too, though. You sold 400 bags, dude, between November and April, which was not golf season, only in half the United States. So that's amazing if you think about it.
I appreciate you saying that. It started to really fire on all cylinders at one point. We've got a few retail partners in Golfers Warehouse, as well as Golf and Ski Warehouse up in the Northeast. You guys don't have Golfers Warehouses down there, right? You have Edwin Watts.
No,
Do you have that?
We have PJ
Roger Dunn.
No, we have the other one, Golfsmith. Not Golfsmith. What's it called? Vans.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And we have PJ Superstore, and we have Golf Galaxy. Those are the ones we have.
Yeah, because it's through Worldwide Golf Shops, which owns.
Yeah, they're all together. It's a conglomerate now. Yeah, Vans is part of that conglomerate. Well, that's how they compete, because I think they're all regional stores. So I think Worldwide is all the regional stores or companies banded together to compete against the bigger online presence. That's what I think it is, at least.
I think you're right.
Were the sales of the bags, did you have to send some of those bags to the retailers, or no?
They would just purchase them outright. So they would be like, we want
straight up
30 bags. We want 30 bags for this store. It's like, all right, here you go. We got to give them a cut, which sucks, but we still want the revenue. So
the margins are
we're
there,
not going to say no.
The margins are there, and it gives you more flexibility because cash is king, right? So it's not like you're sitting on them. So you sold the bags 3 months ago, and then what about the carts? When did those sell out?
The carts sold out 2 weeks or 3 weeks, probably I guess almost a month ago at this point, 3 weeks ago or something. And that was, we really got a good push from the Worldwide Golf Shops. They ordered pretty big amount of push carts. They were over 50. I'll put it that way. With one order, which was a game changer. There's been a few game changer moments for us, and the partnership with Worldwide Golf Shops was absolutely one. We have a few other partnerships that we're really excited that are coming up, that'll be announced. I don't know when exactly, because there's details that have to be ironed out, but there's a few other partnerships that we're excited about coming up, and it's stuff like that really has helped us stay alive and propel. Direct to consumer. If we could only do direct to consumer, that'd be great. We would, it's just not really viable when we're this new. We have to work with as many
You
people
gotta
as we
take
can
the
at this
sales
point.
wherever you can find them, right? Like
Absolutely.
that's what it comes down to. Like you're not being picky. You're just like, oh sweet, I made a little bit of money on that, right? And like,
Yeah.
or I made, that's why that's why we have a margin, and you're able to play with that margin essentially.
Yep,
But
exactly.
now you're 6 months out, or I'm assuming you probably did your order, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we have another 400 golf bags coming in 10 days. So we're 6 months past the last time we made that order pretty much. So we have new bags coming in like next week. So it's good timing. We're on this. I don't know when this is coming out, but new bags will be out end of
Like next
September.
week. So you made that order 6 months ago.
Yeah, we did. It's a nightmare. And oh, by the way, our costs went up 25%. Like our cost per bag went up 25% in the
Why?
last year since we made this first order, because that's the
can
industry
do
and
it,
that's
yeah.
inflation right now. It's ridiculous. They told me the price and I was like, is this right? Like, are you sure this is the right price? I was shocked. And shipping, if anybody that knows anything about ocean freight shipping right now,
Dude,
it's not 25% more. It's like
100%
150% more. Yeah.
And there's no
it's insane.
containers.
So,
And if you're going through LA, good luck with that.
yep,
Because
exactly.
I was actually teaching my son. My son and I went on a walk yesterday, and I'm trying to teach him about business. He's 11, and I was like, okay. I was explaining,
Love
to him,
that.
okay, so if you had this product, like I was literally going the whole thing, and I was like, what are the things you have to watch out for? And I was explaining to him like what's happening in California. I'm like, so now what do you do, right? I'm like, so would you pay more for air freight, or would you? Now you can't because you got some heavy ass big stuff. So it's like, forget that.
Yeah.
You know, you
Oh
have
my
no
God.
choice.
It would be way too expensive.
$40,000. You know, like it'd be so
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah, but they still
Yeah.
get you by the balls, dude. Because like one time I had to ship some stuff to another company, right? And like a golf company, and they had an account with FedEx. And like the difference between a guy who does have an account with FedEx and who does not have an account with FedEx was like a 90% difference in cost, right? Like they're like, oh, it's only gonna be $127, but they go, but if you were using that account number, it would be like 800. And I was like, say what? And
It's significant, to say the least.
yeah, and the guy's like, well, this company probably uses FedEx a lot, so they probably get the best rate. I was like, holy crap. People always
how it
bitch about
works.
shipping too. Like, why is shipping so expensive? Like when you sell stuff, and you're like, dude, that's what it costs. Like it's not like I'm making money in shipping. I've actually lost money in shipping. When I have international orders, like I go
absolutely.
as high as I can, and I still lose money on that. I still lose $5-10 on international shipping because you don't know what it's gonna cost if you ship it to Ireland, right? You're like, well, here's a rough rate.
Oh, we can't ship internationally. I mean, it'd double the
Canada?
price of our cart. I'm working on Canada, but even Canada is very expensive. FedEx has not been overly helpful. And if anyone from FedEx is listening right now, if you want to help me out with international shipping, that'd be wonderful. But it's been hard. Right now, we only
UPS is a
ship in
big
the
pain in
US.
the ass too. UPS is super expensive, I think.
Yeah, they both are. It's a duopoly, so they're just gouging us all.
And you don't sell small stuff, so it's like you have little tchotchkes or whatever, but like like every company does,
Yeah.
but you have like your main two flagship products are big. Like you just it is
They're
what it
very
is.
expensive to ship. Yep.
Did you like that video I did of me putting together my golf cart you sent me? That's awesome.
Dude, I loved it. I loved
How come
it.
how come I'm not on your
great
website,
video.
bro? Whatever. You have a bunch of like high tech pictures and video, and like my stop frame building it and fast forwarding. That took a lot of work.
So this,
It's funny.
I would say that is one of the areas that we need to improve on is taking content that other people do for us, such as your video, and putting it on our website. Like we need to be way better about using the content that we have. Social media, I mentioned it a
Dude,
little
your
bit
website takes
a
forever
while
to
ago.
load.
Oh, does it?
I'm telling you. But I mean, that's probably because I'm like we're doing the stream right now.
Yeah,
It's the videos are taking forever to
what-
load. Those videos. Who did those videos for you? Because they're really cool. I was gonna ask you that.
Yeah, so we have a buddy, like it's a friend of a friend that just like quit his job to start doing this full time. His name's Andrew. If anybody wants, to use him for anything, reach out to me. I'll give you his contact. Yeah, dude, he's a beast. He's a beast. He deserves all the credit.
That black video with the thing spinning and the graphics. Oh my god, that's freaking cool. Like that, I don't really compliment people on web. I'm a website snob, so like I'm just telling you that's cool. I'm gonna find out that guy's information. Like it's just really cool.
I'll hook you up.
I mean,
Yeah.
That would be a really good, if you could make that smaller and use that for your ads on Facebook, that would crush, I think, too. Like,
Once the bags get here, we're gonna start pushing out a lot
do
of
it as
new
a
ads
GIF or a GIF, whatever, and then have that playing. Like, just the thing where, like, that would catch your eye fast enough, especially on Instagram. That would be really good, I think. Give me Andrew's information. I'll talk to you after the show.
I will.
Dude, check out his website. This is a good video. And then if you want to talk to Andrew, then you guys just email me and I'll email Sam. Or I'll just tell you.
GreensideGolf.co. Go there now, buy a bag, buy a push cart.
Dude, that's freaking cool, though. So he made that. Oh, my God.
Buy a polo. Yeah, I mean, like I said.
Okay, I'll tell you something else.
It.
You know, it's so expensive, or no, it's really hard. Apparel. Apparel's like super hard. Super hard.
We do not make money on apparel. I can tell you that.
I don't either. I mean, apparel. I don't know. Like, you know, when you come into doing doing this stuff, like you just don't know what you don't know, right? And when it comes to apparel, like I'm friends with some pretty big apparel, like trendy apparel companies that are cool. And like when I go into their offices and I saw what they're doing, I was like, it blew my mind. I was like, see, this is a real apparel company. They have like swatches on the wall and they're like figuring all this stuff out. And I'm like, oh, I want to make a t-shirt, you know, like apples and oranges, right? And I don't know, golf apparel is kind of cutthroat too. So that's just my take.
Someone, I once heard from an entrepreneur selling more expensive items is beneficial for owners because take the push cart, for example. It's $250. It's much easier to find one person to buy a $250 product than it is to say you sell pop sockets or, you know, widgets or whatever it may be, than to find, you know, for $2 or each, right? It's a lot easier to find one person to buy a $250 product than it is to find 75 people to buy a $2 product, or 100 people to buy a $200 or a $2 product that would get me to the exact same amount. Any potential entrepreneurs out there, expensive items are the way to go. Sales are
and like here's the thing, right? Sam knew what he's doing,
and the margins.
Yeah, it's all with the margin, right? And if you can play with that margin and you're like, okay, I can afford buying X, right? Whatever it costs for 100 of them. So I can afford that. So if I can sell it for Y, it would be double, right? Let's just pretend, or triple or 4 times as much. I was blown away at some of these things cost in golf and what they sell them for. And that's what kind of pisses me off. So that's why I find the same people that make the same product and I just sell for way less. Cause I'm like, dude, you guys are screwing people over, right?
I would love to be domestic in terms of our supplier for the push carts. I am sick of being overseas. It is impossible. It's never gonna. I doubt. Okay,
here's what I think. Here's what I think. Honestly,
I would love for it to happen.
The margins. If you're gonna try to do that, obviously the margins are really, really bad, right? What I'm finding is first of all, you're not gonna get stuff. Most of the stuff's made overseas, anyways, right? But let's just pretend you find something that's not made overseas. Like you can tell yourself right now, it's gonna cost 2 to 3 times more than if you bought it overseas, right? But if you're okay with that and you're gonna make less money, but it's still in the United States, so it takes less time and there's less risk. It's about now it's about risk versus reward, right? Like it's a whole other equation. I have a buddy who he's doing so well, he had buying his own warehouse because he was at a 3PL and he did the math and he's like, okay, I'm paying so much money in a 3PL, I might as well buy my own warehouse, hire people because he's making enough money to do it. Where it would be the same price, literally what he was paying. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy. So now he owns a freaking warehouse.
We do all of our own fulfillment. I warehouse my stuff myself. I ship everything myself. Because
you have a warehouse?
It's right outside of Boston. It's more of a large storage unit. It's not really a warehouse. Like we only have say 500 pieces at a time at most, which is only going to take up say 40 by 10 or 30 by 10 feet. So I could just get a storage unit and I do all the shipping myself and I like
that's a lot of work, bro.
That's crazy. A lot of people are like, that's crazy. And
you know how much money you save?
But I save a ton of money and I enjoy doing it. I like the process of printing the shipping label, sticking it on the box, organizing it, dropping it off, or having FedEx pick it up.
Well, that's the thing too. Anybody who knows me who's bought stuff from me,
it's satisfying.
I always send a thank you card, or I'm like, I care about the people buying it. And if I see people buy multiple things, I'm like, wow. And I'll send extra stuff. I'll be like, oh, here's a whatever. You didn't buy it. I'm giving it to you anyway.
Same.
Just because of like, thanks for being loyal and thanks for actually caring enough about us to like support us. Cause that's a big deal because it's their money, right? So it's like, I appreciate that they chose me over something else.
Absolutely.
Like that's just, I don't know.
If
I've been
someone
on both
buys
sides of the
in
coin.
Boston,
So
I'll deliver it. I'll deliver it right to your address. I'll walk up your step, ring the doorbell, and put it right on your doorstep if you're in Boston and you place an order.
I should tell.
Why bother
Brian.
shipping?
You should bring that to Brian's house because he lives by you. I don't know. He lives in some suburb.
Yeah,
I don't really know which one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chris
which one
Garman, don't you
either.
live in-
I know he's South Shore.
I think Chris. Don't. He's in the chat. I think, or he was. I think he lives in Boston area too. So everyone's like asking questions and.
This is cool. I'm gonna. Yeah, this is
This
awesome.
thing's a bomb, dude. Like honestly, this is the best software.
I want to answer a question. Can I answer a question?
Go through them. Go ahead. Well, yeah. Let's go. Through
Is
them.
it is there a warranty? Is there a warranty on the push cart? We have a no ask, no questions asked policy on returns. If you order a push cart, you don't like it, you want to send it back, that's fine by me. Like I said, customer appreciation and customer satisfaction are the most important thing. I want to make something clear that where I like to differentiate between the big guy and the little guy is I'm a normal guy. I'm one of you. I'm a golfer. Like if I don't like the product, I don't want to be hassled about sending it back. That's the same policy that we have. If you don't like anything that
That's
you
how
buy
I
from
am.
us, send
You
it
don't
back.
like
I'm
it?
not gonna be
Just
upset.
keep it. I don't. Well, you can't do that. But I'm like, just keep it. Whatever. I'll just refund your money.
I mean, we
you
can't
can't
afford
do
to
that.
do that.
Yeah,
but-
exactly. I can, but like, because my product's like
Yeah,
super
let's-
cheap compared to yours.
And then another one is for Sam. What's your favorite courses to play in the Boston area? I was hoping this question came up because I just love talking about golf. So I love talking about golf and golf courses. Granite Links, I love. I had the pleasure of playing Andover Country Club. That's an incredible track. But yeah, definitely Granite Links. Oh, Pine Hills. I love the Pine Hills. The little sandwich pocket is what I like to call it. Sandwich, Massachusetts is an underrated little pocket for golf. They've got like 6 golf courses that basically all touch each other. So if you're ever like in the area, you want to spend the night, it's on the South Shore. It's right by Cape Cod. I mean, Cape Cod has some incredible golf course. Massachusetts, in my opinion, is the pinnacle of golf in the Northeast. Obviously, we're not talking about Florida, California, Texas, Arizona, but in the Northeast, Massachusetts has got it won. New York has some good courses as well, but I feel like New York is so big that it's not as like tight knit of a community. Massachusetts has got a really incredible community for golf. That with the Mass Golf is the program. They do an incredible job. Hopefully, we'll work with them in the near future. But in terms of favorite courses, love the Pine Hills courses. Big fan of Granite Links. Always a good time up there. Check those out. Red Tail is a very fun course. Those definitely probably be my top 3.
Are you coming out with new designs for your bags?
So we have a slight product change, slight design change on the newest golf bags. We're going from our number one piece of feedback on the golf bags, the money bag, was people didn't like the 14-way top. So we brought it down to 6. So we made it a 6-way top. And like I said, that's just based on feedback from the customers. They said we don't want 14-way tops. Fine by me. I always liked it. I liked having a space for each of my clubs, but maybe that's my OCD.
Yeah, you're a nerd.
I know.
Just kidding. That's a cool thing too when you're a small brand starting to grow is that you're able to make changes whenever you see an issue.
No, absolutely. I agree. We're trying to listen to the customer, listen to the feedback from the customers and the people that actually interact with us and care to give us feedback. I very much appreciate it. I love interaction. I run the social media myself. Hopefully that changes in the future because number one, I'm not very good at it, in my opinion. And number two, it would be a huge time saver if someone could take that off. Yeah, if someone could take that off our hands. And just like,
but there's
the
certain things
quality
you
of
can't
it,
let
like-
go of though. Like I've learned that. There's
sure.
I mean, like social media,
I'm sure.
I have somebody I trust. A lot of people know him already, so like he's helping me with it. But I upload all my YouTube stuff, and there's just things like the podcast. I have to do all that myself because you could train somebody, but it's still like going out to the world, and it's like no, you can't fix it once it goes out. So it's like I would love to be able to like transfer that job, but I don't think I would. I don't know.
We want to definitely expand our TikTok presence, our Reels presence. Like that's obviously the future, and that's where people are migrating to.
Here's
I'm
something so
a
funny.
millennial.
I get more views.
Like I
get more
suck at
views
it.
on my videos on, well, not right now because I'm still learning YouTube, but like I'm getting more views on Instagram TV and Amazon of all places. It's crazy.
What?
And I
You
found
put your
somebody was
videos
telling
on
me the
Amazon?
other
I didn't
day
even know that was a
LinkedIn-
thing.
Yeah, but you got to be an Amazon influencer. So like, I don't really know. Maybe it's not like companies can just throw crap up there, but if you make content like I do, you can throw it up there. They have rules and stuff. Like it has to be like quality and it has to be like informative and explain, like, I'm like, all right, cool. I have a lot of that content, but you can't like talk about price and you can't talk about like going off site. Like, hey, check out my website. You got to take all that crap out because they just, like you ever go to Amazon, you go to the bottom and it has like those little videos on the bottom. That's what people are doing it. And I just found out about that a couple months ago. And
Yeah,
somebody was
that's
telling me LinkedIn, and I don't know because I never go to LinkedIn because I'm like, LinkedIn's boring. Supposedly LinkedIn you could put videos on there, but I've never seen that. So whatever.
I love LinkedIn. I don't use it. Like I don't have much of a content presence, but I love following people. Favorite follow is a guy named Chris Mead, who's one of the founders of CrossNet. Are you familiar with CrossNet? Probably not, but it's a variation of volleyball and Foursquare. It's like a Foursquare style volleyball, and they are absolutely murdering. The guy's like, it's two brothers and like one other guy. They're all in their 20s and they're absolutely crushing. And he's like way ahead of his time in terms of his business savvy and his knowledge. So I follow him. He's a great follow. LinkedIn's good for following entrepreneurs and getting ideas from.
All right. I'll figure it out. I love that world. The only reason why I do this because
it's a good world.
Sam and I are friends, and I was like, hey, you want to be on the show? Because I think we all learn something. We're all the same, right? Even though we all kind of do something different, we're all having the same struggles. Whether you're a huge brand or a little brand, everyone has the same struggles. Now, the cool thing is that the people that have the big brands have some really cool stories because they've seen a lot more stuff, right? It's essentially, if you wanted to like get an education on how to like start a business, this is it. This is like the inside edge, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Like you want to have a golf cart company? There's the guy who's doing it. He just told us how he's doing it. It's not easy.
Yeah.
If you guys,
I thought it was interesting that like starting a business, nobody ever tells you that growing a business is 10 million times harder than starting a business. In my opinion, starting a business was easy. Growing the business, that's a different animal. That's a beast.
It's easy to get things set up and like cookie cutter, whatever, right? It's easy because
exactly.
But like where the rubber meets the road, there's two things I think is also getting your first sale or getting your, it's easy to go spend money and buy product. It's easy to like set up accounts, but when you really have to do it and you're like, oh crap, that's when it gets hard and you have to like figure it out. And there's no playbook. There's not. Every way of doing it is different depending on what you're doing, right? Like I know nothing about golf carts. I wouldn't even know where to begin, right? Yeah, it's golf equipment, but I mean, it's like, how the hell do I sell a golf cart? I don't know. That's not really true though, because I've sold a lot of your golf carts on my website.
That's true. Yeah.
I should be.
Well, you need good friends. You need friends in the industry. You need people to help you out. Nobody can do anything alone. Usually,
there's certain brands that help me. Like,
I don't think that made sense.
No, it's true because like there's brands that I worked with in the past that like I've become such good friends with these people. They've helped me exponentially, and I never asked them to. They just did because we're friends, and they just said, "Oh, I'm gonna introduce you to so and so," and then I don't know. That's how it works. Golf is like life,
Absolutely.
You guys. Like seriously, it just be a good person and like be cool and don't be a douche. So that's
absolutely treat people the way that they should be treated, not necessarily the way that you want to be treated, because that's kind of a ridiculous thing. You just treat people good. How about that?
Well, I'm really happy
comes around.
How good you're doing. Seriously, that's awesome.
Thank you, Paul.
All I know is I see from afar that I think it's on the website like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "What? You've sold out?" I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome," because that's a big deal. It's hard to sell, so I'm really happy for that. I'm glad that you're on the show today. I appreciate you coming out. You guys need to check out greensidegolf.co. He has his two main products are the G Wagon, right? and the
G-Wagon and the money bag.
And the money bag. Good names, right? The cart's $250. This is like super cheap, in my opinion. And the bag's like what?
I told you the bag is one. It's probably going to have to go up. It's probably going to be this 2.0 bag is going to be 180 probably, because the fact is our price went up 25%, and our cost did. So like we can't afford to not go up a little. We're not going to go up 25%. I don't know what
you got to share you're sharing the cost. I mean, just be honest about it. So you guys need to support them, honestly.
Please do.
Like, they're good people, and I mean, look, he's doing it, and the bag's cool. My dad stole my carton bag. I'm just telling you right now. I don't have it in my office in here right now.
I'll have to send you another one.
That's cool, like 2.0 or whatever.
2.0.
But I mean,
do you prefer 14-way or 6-way top for the golf bag?
I don't really, honestly. I would just like the cart. I don't need another bag. I got so many bags. Like, I'll be fair with you.
You probably do. Yeah,
dude, I got I don't know if you guys have been on the internet, but Vessel has 2 new bags coming out, and those are coming to me right now. So it's like I have so many bags. I got the freaking new minimal bag right here. Like I got
a cart with your name on it. We'll get it out to you as soon as possible. Custom cart.
Just kidding. You like
behind the brand, Golfers Authority, right on the side.
No, don't do that. That'd be embarrassing. Well, thank you for being on the show. Thanks for everyone who came in and
thanks for having
questions and hung out today. I will see you guys in the next episode.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Paul. GreensideGolf.co at Greenside Golf LLC for Instagram. Follow us, interact with us, go to the website, buy a product. I love you.
You love me? Thank you.
I love you. I love everyone else too. I've got enough love for everyone.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Behind the Golf Brand Podcast.
You're gonna beat me at golf?
Stay connected on and off the show by visiting golfersauthority.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
Golf is always more fun when you win.
Stay out of the beach and see you on the green.